Hi guys, it's Michelle Patterson here with Angel Souls, and this is your weekly Angel Oracle card reading for the week beginning February 22nd, 2016. This week I'm going to be using the Angel Feather Oracle by Michelle Newton, and of course pulling a color card from the Secret Language of Color Oracle deck by Anna Segal. If you would like a personal reading with me, please go to my website, angelsouls444.com, the services page. Please listen carefully. Do not wait to send your email question, okay? A lot of people do that. They'll purchase the reading, I guess, to get in line, and then they either change their question 20 times or they wait to send me the email. The thing is if my schedule opens up and I'm able to get to your reading, I want to get it to you faster. So just please make sure you're very clear on what you want to ask. Submit it right when you purchase the reading, and we're good to go. The other thing is if you would like to support me on Patreon, I will leave all that information down below. So I'm going to do my best with the message that's coming through for this week, and I'll explain that just here in a second. But I also want to tell you that this coming week, I'm going to be working on my first class. And I think I am going to use the Udemy platform, just trying it out, seeing if it's going to work. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to be putting that together hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Again, I don't know how long it takes Udemy to approve of the course, so on and so forth, but I will keep you posted. Let's talk about that reading. Okay, the reading and the messages that are coming through. So I was meditating. Usually I'll get like a very succinct word or a phrase or a vision or something. And this time it was just a bunch of things that were all very clear, but there's a lot. And it all kind of came in at once. So in this week, this coming week, what we're supposed to be working on is our right-wrong mentality. Our right-wrong mentality, meaning my life isn't going right, so I must be doing something wrong. It's black or white, cause and effect. Therefore, I need to go out and learn this, that, and the other to make my life right. And feeling like we're doing a good job because we are studying spirituality and we are putting things into practice. Okay, they're saying that that stuff is good. It's good that you're getting on that path, but what they want us to now tweak with our spiritual growth is stop thinking that you were ever wrong. Stop thinking that. You were never wrong. It's all a journey. It's a process. So wherever you came from, it was exactly where you needed to be. Okay? So the way you live now, let's say you've taken on a spiritual path, doesn't mean that how you lived before was wrong. It's just now different. You are opening up more for more esoteric wisdom maybe, or more heavenly guidance, however you want to look at it, but it doesn't mean that you came from a bad place. Okay, so that seems to be important to get out to a few of you. Yeah, okay, thank you. So this whole mentality, they want us to work on this as well. If you're not with me, you're against me, kind of thing. Now, there's a message about criticism coming in too. So I told you this is going to be, we're going to be all over the place. Just hang with me here. Let's start with that whole, if you're not with me, you're against me thing. Yeah, not everything is black or white. Not everything is black or white. And we need to stop thinking of ourselves as so divided. So I think they're addressing our phasing out of a duality consciousness. Now, it's going to take a while before we completely do this. But in the interim, we can start programming ourselves a little bit more, or I shouldn't say programming, it makes us sound like robots. But you know what I'm saying? Like coming off of that old mindset that I'm over here and you're over there. You know, I do this and this is the way, you know, this is how I'm instructed to live my life, you know, and that's how you're instructed to live your life. So we're very different people. Does that make sense? It's almost as if, yeah, they're saying that in the duality consciousness, we are all very, very siloed in our energies. And so we think we have to live by some prescription, right? I grew up in this neighborhood, so this is how we do things. No more of that. No more of that. And the division needs to start getting blurred a little bit. Now, this isn't going to happen. We're not all going to be out there holding hands and saving the world together next week. But you need to start thinking about that. You need to start thinking about that, about how we are more alike than different, okay? The other thing, again, hang with me here, criticism. Criticism. Can you guys be clear, please? Okay, thank you. So here's how we have lived for a very long time. I'm just giving you constructive criticism. I'm just giving you some feedback, right? So they're making it sound as if I'm doing you a favor. It's actually a really dark energy that kind of comes in. Hang with me. I'm going to say this like a million times because I feel like I'm already feeling the resistance around this. But it's kind of a dark energy when you throw criticism at somebody, even if you think it's constructive, okay? Because a lot of times when people are offering up feedback, they don't have any grounds to be given it, number one. And two, it's just to make themselves feel better. It's actually them, I guess we can call it projection, but that's become such a buzzword, nobody even knows what it means anymore. It's basically they don't like something about themselves, so they have to be critical of others or controlling of others. So this whole kind of underlying energy is, you don't know better how to live than somebody else. You don't know somebody's story, so don't go in there trying to give them advice on how to live. Do you understand? Or at least being aware of the places where you do that. I think that's kind of more what we're working on in this coming week. So acceptance, let's turn it to the positive. It's acceptance, and it's honoring everybody's experience. If you see somebody who, and I always come back to these examples because it just speaks to what they're saying so well. Let's say you see somebody who is overweight, yes? And you have always been naturally thin, maybe you're a food guru or something like that, and you're like, you really do have good intentions, you really do want to help. And you go out there and you're like, you should be doing this, this, and this. I can help you. I have all the answers. By doing that, you're saying you don't know how to live, and I know better than you how you should be. When in reality, number one, again, along the lines of this example, you're not a medical doctor. Okay, you don't know what that person's up against. You don't know what's up with their endocrine system. You don't know what kind of trauma they've been through, right? So if you're not treating the trauma, you're not treating what they're doing. At the end of the day, you should wait until they come to you for advice. Do you understand? So that's what we're kind of talking about. Again, that's just an example. You don't know everybody's story, so don't go in there thinking that you know better. It is an epidemic. It is an epidemic. I know personally, I have lived my life where, I'm just thinking like a few years ago, like I couldn't come into work without somebody coming up and telling me how I should be. From what lipstick to wear to how to speak and how to present myself. You're too wimpy, you're too forward, you're too this. Everybody's got an opinion. And and it's kind of there by design, right? Well, remember what I said? It's kind of like a dark energy that comes in and makes you criticize one another or try to tell somebody else how to live, right? So for a lot of you, I'm going to come back to that here in a second, but for a lot of you, this is a message to watch where you're doing that, but also watch when it's coming at you. And it's not to be like, Michelle told me that this was coming. So no, we're not telling you to do that. You're just observing this week. And this is supposed to open up your viewpoint on humanity. It's going to be important. They're building these lessons. So they're cracking us open little by little. So let's go back to that dark energy that makes us want to criticize other people. The feeling I'm getting around that is that it keeps us in a constant fight with one another. I'm going to win if I tear you down just a little bit, but I'm helping you. I'm just trying to help. Gosh. How many times have you heard that? Oh God, if you have a YouTube channel, you've heard this. Okay, I'm just trying to help you. You really need to do this, this, and this differently. Well, who are you? And how do you know better? It's that kind of thing. All right. So we need to lay off one another. Knock it off with the criticism. Knock it off with taking the criticism. And actually, I mentioned this to somebody in one of their readings. Remember, I think it was last week, I said on Gaia.com, they have this episode with Regina Meredith and Ariel Ford. And they were actually talking, I don't know if I mentioned this before, maybe I did, but I'm going to say it again because it's coming up again. And there was a a talk between the two of them, and they're actually talking in relationships, like romantic partnership. But Ariel Ford said that she was actually quoting somebody else, so forgive me, I don't remember who she was quoting, but they were saying something to the effect of, there's no such thing as constructive criticism. And I believe that. And people who believe in constructive criticism are the ones who just want to make an excuse so they can give criticism. Yes? And she said it's actually, especially in love partnerships, it's an assault. Now that's a very hard word, but don't dismiss it right away. Think about that, because the angels are bringing that forward again and saying, why do you feel the need to try to improve someone? I'm air quoting all over the place. Please forgive me. Okay? Why do you feel like you need to improve somebody? There are some people, probably not the ones watching this video, but there are some people who are such elitists. They are such elitists that they are out there going, well, I'm going to improve humanity. If I just help somebody out and tell them what they're doing wrong, this is going to make us all better people, and it's going to make it a better world to live in. Those are also the kinds of people who would probably want to eliminate people who society would call less than perfect. All right, so let's not emulate those people. Let's not act like them. If you don't resonate with what somebody is doing or how they're behaving, you don't need to be in their space. You don't need to be in their space. Now, this would be different if, let's say, because they're wanting me to make this distinction. Let's say you have a friend who, maybe they're young, nothing against young people, but maybe they're young, maybe they're going through their very emotional stage, maybe they're a little self-indulgent. Okay, they're a little self-indulgent with their emotions, and they want you to sit there and listen to them while they're being self-indulgent. Now, in that case, if you're a close friend and you're really coming from a place of love, you might want to try to bring it to their attention. Does it feel good to constantly talk about this? Because in some cases you have to talk to get something out, but if somebody really can't let it go, a very good way to help them through that, they're making me feel, is to help, just talk with them and help them get to the root of why they can't let go. And if it's not the day for them to let go, it's not the day for them to let go. And if you're just like, you know what, I have to go to work. I'm sorry, I can't, I'll catch up with you next week or something like that. So you always have that option of either trying to help in a very positive way without making them feel like they're bad or wrong for how they feel, right? That right or wrong thing going on there. And say, okay, sorry, that's how it goes. They're coming in with something. Let me just get it. You can distance yourself, so they're letting me complete that. That's what we were going to say. But do it without judgment. That is what, I told you it was a big message. Okay, remember that spiritual high we were talking about? Well, as most of you know, I love Shri and Kira, and they brought up something. They worded it so perfectly. They call it spiritual ego. So there are those two terms, spiritual ego and the spiritual high, right? They came up with spiritual ego. That's where I heard it. Spiritual high is what I've actually heard from the angels. In our pursuit to just escape everything, right? We do, in that pursuit of that spiritual high, first of all, we're not actually growing our souls. We've talked about that. But you're also getting into this spiritual ego where you're looking at anybody else who just might be, ruining your buzz and going, man, come on. You shouldn't be like that. You need to get on the path. You need to, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. You live your life, let other people live theirs. And don't look upon them and blame them for how your life is going. Don't get mad at them for the choices they're making. They're their choices. If it's affecting you in some way, and see, here's another layer, it comes in again. They're saying that a lot of people are in a delusion, right? So whenever something's going amiss in our life, we always want to find the root cause. We want to figure out, and most of us attack one another. We attack one another. We go, it's your fault that I feel this way. So think about that in terms of like a global scale, right? I mean, we have we go to full-on war because people think that, how my world is your fault. Or you don't believe the way that I do, therefore you're terrible. And then it comes right down to the individual one-on-one partnership, maybe a romantic partnership, where it's like, you're not who I think you should be, therefore, I've always had a problem with this. It's one of the things that in life has gotten me in trouble because I kind of always come from a different perspective. So when somebody's coming up and saying, you should really do this and this and this, I'm like, according to what? Are we using you as a gauge of normalcy? Because I think there's already a problem in the foundation of this this whole issue if we're using you as a gauge of normalcy. So again, there's the ego part of it where you think you've got things so figured out that you can tell somebody else how to live. And here we go again. Give it to me again. Yeah, they're actually giving me the image of like taking shackles off and throwing them behind. We have this potential. Every single one of us is an immense carrier of love. But when we get too caught up in the third dimensional ego consciousness, again, the ego is not bad. It's just we got to have balance with it, right? But when we get so caught up in that, we get disconnected from that love within us. We're not even loving ourselves. Therefore, we can't express love to everybody else. I can't tell you how many times I walk down the sidewalk and I smile at someone and say, "Good morning." And they just look at me and turn their heads. Now, that's not about me. That's them. But, they're so disconnected from the love that they don't even want to share it. You know what I mean? Even in a kind gesture like saying hello. So it's time for us to get out of this negative space. And it's a process. We're probably going to talk about it many more times. But try in this coming week to not think of everything as black or white, right or wrong. It's me, it's you. You're to blame. You should live this way. You shouldn't be fat. You shouldn't have black hair. You shouldn't. Ooh, you shouldn't, right? Comes down to the media. Go on a media diet if you can. Watch how your life turns around, okay? If you're a woman, you know this very well. We're supposed to look a certain way. There's a certain standard of beauty. And if you weren't born to be 5'11" and naturally thin with long flowing hair or whatever, I don't even keep up with this stuff anymore. I'm not even sure what the standard of beauty is according to them. I don't plug into that anymore. But if you go on a media diet and you stop taking in all that stuff of here's what's wrong with you and here's how we're going to fix it, there's nothing wrong with you. Every single one of you are exactly the way you're supposed to be, no matter what somebody else has to say about it. So let's keep on with that overweight example, just because I was talking about it. If you are somebody who's severely overweight, that's part of your journey. That's part of your experience. Even down to people criticizing you, which we're trying to work through and get away from that. But historically, there was something you were learning from that. And it wasn't about hating yourself, okay? In any way you've been criticized. It's about how are you going to allow? How much are you going to take in? What kind of boundaries can you set? How much can you love you? Remember, you always have you. You don't need to depend on someone outside of you to validate you, make you feel good, so on and so forth. Again, we've talked about that numerous times. So, yeah, by going on that media diet, they're saying you can kind of start chipping away sort of the calcified ideas, these things that just do not serve us. We're getting better. But we really have to stop letting people control how we think. This also goes down to if you want to put something out there, why do you think so many spiritual people are self-publishing or have their own blogs? Yes, there are some great book publishers out there that would give those people a voice. But not many media outlets would let you put your word out there without severely manipulating it. Happens all the time. And we're constantly being manipulated. We're constantly being told you have to live like this, this, and this in order to be of value. And I have witnessed good people, I'm going to use the term sell out and deny true love for money and recognition and supposed power. It's not real power, but they thought it was, and they went into it. So I've seen this over and over and over. I've seen good people really fall off the cliff. So we're asking you to take this in on your own good time and in your way. Let some of the old stuff go. We always talk about that. Again, that's become like a buzz term, hasn't it? So let's define that a little better. Let's put that differently. Start with awareness and being very observant of what you buy into. Now, the spiritual community is no better. It's not. You know me, I don't even consider myself a part of the spiritual community usually. I really feel like a lone wolf out here sometimes because I don't buy into that stuff either, because there's a lot of agenda pushing going on there. Be very observant. It's a part of your path. It's a lot of what we're all going through right now. It's why we incarnated at this time. Very different kinds of lessons than we have experienced before in any other lifetime. So I would just recommend that you just keep your eyes open and be discerning for yourself, and try not to somebody walking by. Sorry about that. My memory card got full right in the middle of it. But what I was saying, I don't know how that's going to edit together, but what I was saying, I had a person walking by my window and they were like, what the heck? What is she doing? What's that woman doing? People. But I think we were saying just be very discerning and observant, and be discerning about what you're going to buy into, basically. And watch when somebody tells you this is what's wrong with you. This gets tricky again because humans overcorrect. So if I'm sitting here saying, it happens in the spiritual community too, where there's some agenda pushing, what have you, and someone in this community comes out and says, hey, here's the truth about the electromagnetic waves or whatever. Okay, with this thing coming out of your cell phone or this thing coming out of your laptop, don't put your laptop on your lap, for God's sake, don't do that. We as humans, we want to overcorrect, right? So we'd be like, let me question that. I don't know if you know about that, but no, sometimes information's actually coming through, like from the angels and being filtered through a person who's here to deliver that message, and they're trying to get us to awaken to some of the dangers that we have imposed in our own environment. So that stuff, don't ignore that, right? But if somebody's coming up and saying, did you know that this and this and this, and I have the diet plan for you. I know exactly how you should eat, or that stuff, just kind of take a pause before you just leap into it, right? And certainly, my goodness, if you go and open a magazine, it's like, here, cure your cellulite, and make sure you go, now you're going to feel bad about yourself, and you're going to go running off, paying somebody how much money to suck your fat out, okay? Or to iron out your fat. Whatever. Listen, girls, you got cellulite, okay? Run with it. I don't know. I'm not going to make it stop me from going to the beach. Excuse me. I'm not going to stop living my life. So just be careful about the stuff you're taking in. So that's more sort of environmental, how we kind of communicate with each other and the things we're being inundated with. Anything else on that, guys? Start your days, if you can, with a little time outdoors. It's important for us to start getting back to sort of what our ancestors used to do. There was no staying indoors all day. And if you are somebody who goes off and commutes to a job and you know you're going to be stuck in a car, try to get up a little bit earlier. And if you can do so safely, go out and take a 10-minute walk. Just go out, especially if the sun is just coming up. That's a beautiful time. And it really does reset your system. Oh gosh, there's so much coming through. Okay, we have to reset. Okay, I was just saying, hey, look, be careful what you're listening to. But we do need to clean up our diets. It's a lot for a week, huh? We need to start cleaning up our diets and being very mindful about what we're putting in. We'll leave it out there. Talk to your own guardian angels about what's right for you. And however you're guided, start doing it. No more excuses kind of thing. All right? Especially like, oh, I'm in a hurry. I gotta, I know, I'm the same way. I try to fit so much into a day. But we need to start getting better. We've talked about this too before. I think we just have to sort of nourish our bodies so that we can be better receptors to messages that are coming in. So we could be in a lighter frequency. Okay. I feel like I can go on to the cards now. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention, everybody's like, oh, poor Michelle, she's stuck in her kitchen. I found out that it's actually really handy to have this counter here, and the light is really nice usually if it's sunny. I don't know how, every day I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it actually kind of works. And my chair that I, sit in to read, it's out of the way, so maybe we're onto something. See, blessings in disguise. I was all complaining about it, and here it works out. I should also mention too, for those of you who were looking to get one of these decks, I guess in North America, it's kind of hard to get. Now, this was a gift to me from Michelle Newton, but I guess people who are trying to get these, it's hard in North America. Now, I did meet the lovely owners of Heart Market here in Colorado Springs. It's in Old Colorado City. I don't know what they're going to do, but they might start carrying these, which would mean people in North America, you can get them delivered to you. So maybe, I don't know. But if that's something that you're interested in, maybe just go let Kim and Lori know over at Heart Market. Write them a little note saying, hey, I'd be interested in buying one of those. Okay. All right. So let's get collected here. Let's see. All right. Man, I gotta get off my chair. Hang on. Ugh. We're doing it for real. Okay, I think that just crunched up on my microphone. It's like you're my friends. I just keep it real for you. Why not? So we have new lifestyle or home. Yeah, I could use that. Who couldn't use a new lifestyle or home? Restored health and healing. A practical approach is required. So don't fly away with, I gotta stop. Okay. So the practical approach means you can't just sit there and go, I will it so, I will it so, I will it so, I will it so, and then wait for it to show up on your doorstep. Put your intention out there, put some good energy behind it, and then go, okay, what do I need to do in the physical to make this happen? And that was a message I got for myself this morning. The angels just kind of said, sometimes we can't, we're on this side of things. You have to take care of the physical end. Meaning, on some occasions, I guess they can drop an opportunity in your lap. But for the most part, it's going to be about them giving you the guidance so that you can take care of business here. Okay? We have 2 green cards, but we will get to that in just a second. So the first one we have is Fuchsia Angel Feather, new lifestyle or home. The angels would like to inform you that it is time to commence preparations for a change in lifestyle or residence. This flung out of the deck and flew onto the floor. Look at that beautiful color. This is a pop of inspiration. It's a fresh start. And we've just, talked for 20 minutes about, changing how you view things and how you view one another and what you're allowing yourself to take in. Now, for some of you, this might be like, okay, I'm finally in that good space where I can find literally a new home. And if that's the case for you, it's well aspected this week, but still be careful. This is where we're talking about angels giving you guidance, but you have to be discerning about what kind of home you're trying to purchase or wherever you're trying to move. Listen to your instincts and take a practical approach. Okay? They can't necessarily move a house and put it in front of you. Does that make sense? Okay, so here we go. We have Emerald Green Angel Feather, restored health and healing. The healing angels have heard your prayers for improved health. They send healing rays of green light that will assist you or a loved one to heal physical and mental conditions. Like I said, we have 2 green cards here. That's heart chakra. That's Raphael territory. Be working with Raphael this week and be working on opening that heart chakra. The thing that this is making me feel like, I went for a walk this morning to get some fresh air and, with the sun coming up and everything. And we have there is a trail. Let's just back up. There is a trail that actually goes under a bunch of heavy duty power lines. Okay, so it goes right underneath that. So I did this walk one day and I could hear the things popping and fizzing, and I just instinctively went, this is not good. I don't like this. I don't like how I feel. This is making me feel like I have a headache. It's a giant power plant not far from where I live. No wonder the energy is so agitated around here. And what's more, I'm enjoying, because here in Colorado, we get the most unbelievably blue skies you've ever experienced. And the sun is out. It's just gorgeous. And then, of course, the mountains are right there and they still have the white caps on them. And then you look up and there are these stupid chemtrails going through the sky. You kidding me with this? You're ruining my jam here, okay? I was just having this beautiful, and then I'm hearing these stupid power lines and here, so I had to kind of find a different route. I can't really do much about the chemtrails this morning, at least, but I had to find my way around. So start observing those kinds of things. That stuff is, in fact, affecting your health. Now, I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm just taking it in and feeding it to you. So you do your own research and see what resonates. And if you are in fact sick or someone in your home, this is for somebody out there. If someone in your home is actually bedridden from something pretty major, look at the power lines, look at what's running under your house. Start doing that kind of research. And maybe you need to move that person out of that room and into another room. Or maybe you need to move them to a different location entirely. Okay? So that's for someone out there. Anyway, brown angel feather, a practical approach is required. The angels advise you to focus on practicalities at this moment, one step at a time. When we get so caught up in, I know it might sound like I'm talking about conspiracy theories or something like that, but conspiracy theories, they can be groundbreaking and they can get you aware of stuff. But if people take it too far, they get really wound up in the anger and the fear. And it becomes, in some cases, in extreme cases, it becomes fear-mongering. And then they're no better than the people they're fighting against, right? So stay grounded. Stay grounded. Take the information in. Be discerning. Don't sit there and judge it and go, I'm going to see if this is right or wrong. It's not exactly to that extent. It's sort of like, is this useful for me at this time? Also, just to reiterate, don't expect the angels to do all the work for you. Okay, you're the physical being. You're the one who chose to be in this physical world. They will give you the guidance. You need to make it happen. Okay. Here's the other green card. Green angel feather, simple things. The angels would like you to take some time alone to gain a fresh perspective of your life. So don't be afraid, again, to go on out and have that walk, to have a moment to yourself. We really need to unplug from other people's opinions this week. We really do, because that you need to rejuvenate, and I really feel like that's what it is. Now, we can sit there and say, well, I have this going on. This person broke my heart, and someone broke my heart too, okay? Over and over and over again. But one of the most blessed, it's odd that that's coming up because I was just thinking about this morning. I'm thinking one of the most blessed experiences I've ever had in my life has been being single. Being single. I have learned so much about myself. I have learned about self-love. I might be a master at that, maybe, or almost a master. And I have learned to really take care of business for myself. I don't sit around, if I don't know how to do something, I'm kind of a quick study. So I'll pick up a book and I'll read about it, or I'll watch a video, and next thing you know, I'm doing plumbing. Okay? It's like stuff like that where I've just taken care of myself. But it's so valuable. No matter what your situation is, if you have a family, you have a love partner or whatever, don't feel like you have to constantly be hanging on to that person, or that somehow you have to constantly be around people or you don't exist. That's not the case. You actually need, especially in this week, take just a few minutes to yourself, without everybody else's opinions, without everybody else's experiences coming in and affecting you, and see what comes forward. See what comes forward for you, or what messages come in, and what you suddenly feel about a certain topic. That seems like a thing for you guys too. Like, you don't really know how you feel about something until you get away from it. I've experienced that myself too. All right. What a message. I'm sorry, guys. All these messages have been like super, super long for the past few weeks. Part of the reason why this one was so long is because I kept dropping things, and then my card ran out. Sorry. Anyway, color card for this week. I'm guessing pink. Anybody else want to give a guess? Let's see what we have. Oh, yes? No, it's green. More green. I should have known that. Hold on, I was off. Anyway, I was thinking pink because of the heart, like the higher heart. So I was kind of close, sort of. So here's more green. Life force, guys. Life force. That's what they're talking about with the food. Take more life force in through your food. Get out and connect to nature. Look at this. Heart chakra, Raphael. It's a green kind of time. Here we go. So green, the number is 31. Revitalize your nervous system. See, we're letting too many things. It's caused from other people. It's caused from our environment. Thyroid issues, adrenal gland issues. It is a thing. It is a total thing. I was just watching another program this morning, and I've heard other people say that, and I was like, I thought it was just people kind of in this community, but no, it's our way of life now. Again, does it mean that it's wrong? No, but there's room for improvement. And this is the kind of awareness that you're bringing forward. But also look at how all these colors are bringing us back into our heart. So we've lived a good long time being trapped up here. Time to bring it down here. Because like I tell people when they get personal readings, you can't take these messages in through your third dimensional ego consciousness, right? It's got to come in through all that programmed junk, the social conditioning or the cultural conditioning or your family conditioning or whatever it is that you're working with. It has to, go through there like one of those arcade games, right? And by the time it lands, it's all broken up. It doesn't make sense. And what do? It don't make sense for me. I'm going to dismiss it. And now you just missed the message. But if your heart is cleansed and open and willing, and you take that message in directly here, it's going to fill you up. Notice how even kind of like you're going to, your life force is going to return. So that's where you need to listen to your heart this week. Let me just bottom line it like that. Longest video ever. I think this is the record. I don't know. But anyway, I love you guys. Have a beautiful week. Be kind to one another. We don't know each other's story. I mean, I don't care if somebody is out there on the street and they're a drug dealer. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what they've been through. Compassion. I don't know why I didn't say that in the beginning. Compassion, love, finding love within you. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. All right. If you feel like you can't tap into that self-love because somebody else is ignoring you right now, enjoy your alone time. Lots and lots and lots of things to be learned from doing so. And I think this is just the beginning. I think we're getting more and more intense messages coming in. And I can tell you as an angel medium sitting here giving you these messages, angels are not pushy, but they're definitely like they'll interrupt me and kind of get me to say it. So it's kind of no nonsense time. They're not messing around anymore. Okay. So there it is. Have a beautiful week. And again, I am sending you so much love. Take care.